Hi, I just want to give you a quick overview of our virtual trade shows. We'll start off with a little backgrounder. Well, back in 1997, we did a very special project for Sun Microsystems. In fact, it was the world's first virtual trade show. It was called the Virtual Campus, and we spent at least 8 months with quite a lot of very high quality engineering people and design people, making this first of its kind virtual trade show really shine. It was used by Sun Microsystems for more than a year at different trade shows around the country, physical trade shows, to show what was possible in the future. And as a result of doing this work with Sun, we learned quite a lot. And we've taken all these lessons and we've applied them to our current virtual trade shows. Hi, the reason I'm showing you this slide is because it's very ironic, and it really shows a different mindset from the old to the new. This is, I believe, the old mindset. This is an article that I got recently from online from a company called tsn.com, the ultimate trade show resource. And in the article, I'll just quote a little bit here. It says, "The sad reality is that your exhibit staff does not want to be at the show. They would rather be back at their normal place of work, and they'd rather be in their comfort zone. And that you're asking them to leave their comfort zone and spend days in their uncomfort zone and travel on a weekend and go to a city that they possibly don't want to go to and stay in a hotel with some annoying roommate." They're also asked to put on their marketing and sales hat and get strangers to stop into your booth, and then finally to record all that information on a device that's located at the other end of the booth. Well, their solution to this problem is to retrain your sales and marketing people so that they can get a better experience out of going to a physical trade show. Our solution is to possibly not go to a physical trade show. Do it online, do it virtually, and that's what I'll be showing you as we move through this presentation. Well, we're going to take a look at the current paradigm of a trade show, and then a comparison with how a virtual trade show can really help you. In the current paradigm, you'll be spending a lot of money up front. In this example, we're just saying that you're spending $30,000 to attend a physical trade show. And I'm sure that a lot of companies spend quite a bit more money than that. So they spend a lot of money up front. They collect, or you would collect leads at the show, sales leads. When you got back to your office, you would do some telemarketing and some emailing and so forth to the leads that you picked up from the show in an attempt to qualify some of these prospects and raise them up in the ladder to get them to be filter out all the ones that you don't want and end up with a small list of potential prospects. Once you have that small list, then you'll be spending more bucks at the very end of the process to take your key salespeople and have them fly out to meet these prospects, to do whatever they have to do to close those sales. In the virtual trade show paradigm, our typical shows are $3,500 and to exhibit, and that includes everything, including a lot of pre-show publicity, all the reporting functionality that we have, and you'll see what we were offering in just a minute. So you have a complete presence for $3,500. You'll be collecting leads. The average leads that were collected at our last show, for everybody who exhibited, got more than 300 people come into their booth and 300 leads. In fact, a lot of them got 450 to 600 leads. Then they're able to do telemarketing right there at the show because they're not anywhere. They're still in their office. They can pick up the phone and just call these people right away or talk to them online, and I'll show you how that's done in a second. So the bottom line is that at the end of the virtual trade show paradigm, you have a lot more dollars left if you want to spend. So to sum it up, at a physical trade show, the first thing you're going to do is spend a lot of money up front. So there's an initial big cash outlay. You've got your booth rental, you've got your travel set up, and then, of course, you're going to end up always going to some place where the weather isn't nice. I mean, it's happened to me every time I've gone to a trade show, a physical trade show, almost every time. You're going to have to wait in long lines. You're going to be away from home and the office for quite a long time, and when you get back, you're going to be really fatigued. On the other hand, a virtual trade show allows participants and you to attend and to exhibit from anywhere at any time. It's very, very cost effective. It is extremely convenient, and it certainly makes. When somebody comes to, the first thing that a person does when they come to a physical show is they stand in a long line. I did that about 2 weeks ago. Fill out some forms, get your badge, and you're on your way. At the virtual shows, you don't have to stand in line. You can come in whenever you want to. You fill out the same form. You fill out the attendees fill out this form. Plus, they also include demographic information, and they're essentially given a virtual ID card that lets them back into the show floor at any time. They don't have to re-sign up again. They just once they're at the show floor, here is an example of what they would see. In this case, we've got a number of exhibitors at different companies. And at the very bottom on the left-hand side, there's a link to a keynote address speaker area, an auditorium. And on to the right of that is an Accelera, which is a industry standards group for the EDA marketplace, where they're giving a technical seminar. And we also have a technical symposium. And above that, at the very right-hand side of the show floor, it says pizza time, and you can actually order pizza online while you're watching the show. So that's really cool. At the very bottom of the show floor, you'll notice there's a black box, and that's actually scrolling information, and that's a show-wide ticker, where information about the show and events is broadcast throughout the entire show. Here's an example of a booth. In this case, this is a booth that we developed for Apple Computer. However, your booth would look very much the same. You have control over the color scheme of your booth and what you say and so forth. But in other words, your logo would be in place of the Apple logo, for example. On the left-hand side where it says Interact, that's the area where you can either chat by typing in to the window on the bottom with the visitors that come into your booth, or talk. If you have a microphone plugged into your computer, you'll be able to talk directly to the visitors as they come into the booth. And you'll also know who they are because we have a little nice capability called a booth monitor, which allows you to see exactly who's in your chat room. See, when they're in the chat room, they'll appear with a nickname, but you'll see exactly who that person is, what company they work for, what their title is, and so forth, so you can talk with them. As you can see by this booth, there are drop-down windows called Literature, Gallery, Technical Specifications, and this is how you deliver your literature. Your presentations are presented in a separate window that pops up. The videos, if you have a video, it'll appear in that center large screen at the bottom. And anytime somebody moves their cursor across any of the buttons on this virtual booth, the upper right-hand window, which is our information window, tells that person what's behind each button. Also, really kind of neat is that if you don't have a video, for example, if you just have a PowerPoint presentation, the video button on the left-hand side doesn't appear. So for things that you don't have, buttons don't appear. This is a typical auditorium. This was an auditorium from one of our last shows last year, which ended in December of 2002. This was for virtual MCAD. As you can see on the top, there's some industry experts, John McCrell, Dennis Nagy, David Weisberg, and Bill Dresselhaus. As you click on each one of their pictures, they light up. In this case, John McCrell's picture is lighted up. It talks about his bio below that, his biography, and what topic he's going to discuss. And we present these presentations from the auditorium in a number of formats. One is with a narrated slide presentation, just like you're hearing right now, and the other picture. In this case, we've put together a movie of Bill on the left-hand side and a synchronized slideshow on the right-hand side. We've also added a little button on the bottom to fill out a little survey and stand a chance to win a book by Bill Dresselhaus. So we can do a lot of customization in that area as well. Here's a look at our we call it iConference, our conferencing area. You'll see up in the left-hand corner there's a photograph. It's not, it's actually a video. So the presenter's video is presented to all the people that come into this conference center. The people coming in can talk by chat. He can talk to them using a microphone plugged into his computer, take them for a walk through his presentation. And then at the very bottom of the presentation, you'll see some markup tools. Those allow him and you, if you're on the other end of this, if you're one of the people in the conference, to mark up each slide and make comments about it and talk back and forth. So it's a very good collaboration tool. So we can also provide this as part of our service. Taking another, remember before I mentioned booth monitor. Here's a look at the booth monitor. As you can see, it says what time the individual came in, what that person's name is, what that person's title is, what company that person works for. So again, as I said, when people come into your chat, you'll be able to talk to them and know exactly who. I guess one of the most valuable features that we offer is the ability to report and track visitors to your booth and to the show. So you have a complete reporting and tracking system built into your administrative console. And as an example, you'll see all the people who've come into your booth at a higher level online. This shows you what their name is, their title, company, what city and state, what their email address and their phone number is. However, you'll see up above the word phone on the right-hand side, it says download Excel. Well, you just download an Excel version of this tracking report, and as you can see, it goes off to the right of the page. It has much more information than was given to you online. Just a lot more. You've got all the demographic questions that we've asked about, what industry they're in, what they're involved with, and so forth. So besides the demographic information, you've got their complete street mailing address as well, and some other information. And you could take this. It's in comma delimited format and just throw it into any database you'd like, or leave it in Excel if you'd like to. So it really works. We've had 4 successful shows, and 100% of the exhibitors from our last show are returning for this year's show. And as I said before, each exhibitor at all of our shows has received more than 300 visitors to their booth. So it's very economical. And the quality of the visitors is extremely high because we're going out to a very targeted audience. For example, in the electronic design automation field, we're targeting EDA designers, and similarly in the MCAD world, we're looking at the MCAD professionals. So the audience is extremely good and extremely good leads. So, just to wrap it up, it is very, very cost effective. It's probably the best bargain out there as far as what you could do with your marketing dollar to generate excitement about your company and generate. And it certainly is convenient because your people don't have to travel to do all the setup and go through all the hassle of and expense of relocating someplace else in the world to put on a physical show. So it certainly is convenient, and it's also convenient for the visitors. You'll find that a lot of people who are unable to travel to a physical show will come to your virtual show. And it just makes sense. It really does. It's exactly right for our times right now. And I invite you to learn more about what we have to offer, and I'd certainly like to work with you. Thank you.